Hey folks, hope you're well. So I'm going to do a little vlog. I'm just going to be walking around my garden here, and it's the day after Boxing Day. Today is officially known as the day after Boxing Day. That's what we call it. Hope you all had a great Christmas, and true to my word, I've been quiet on social media for a little while because I wanted to take some time out and spend with my family, just watching where I'm walking here. So just in my back garden here, so go for a little cruise around. Let's see what's going on. And I've not been posting too much on social media during the festive season because I wanted to take some time out. So we're almost into the new year. What a crazy year it's been. And if you follow me on my Facebook channel, certainly you'll know that all of the news feeds that I've been doing recently, it's all very bizarre. It's all really odd, the things that have been happening in property as well as much as everything else. But we managed to get through it. So I'm going to take you on a little journey and just talk a little bit about my experiences through this year and what I think the property market is going to emerge into in 2021. And this is all based on my own opinion, folks, based on what I've read, based on the news feeds that I do and all of the articles and everything that I report. So let's go back to before lockdown 1 started. So lockdown 1 came as a bit of a surprise to most of us, and it really threw us, and it really did concern us in our business. Now, fortunately, we got through it, and we actually got stronger from it. We created more products, and lockdown 1 for us was along the lines of, first of all, when Rishi Sunak announced that there were going to be mortgage holidays, all of our tenants decided that they were going to take that upon themselves not to pay their rent. And it took a while for us to get through it, and it took us a while to get them educated and to obviously make sure that they understood exactly what the rules and regulations were. But what we didn't plan for is all of the voids that we had. So the arrears were actually okay. You know, the first of the month came along and we got paid. And then we thought, well, maybe this is a bit of a blip. Maybe it's an anomaly. Then the first of the following month came and we got paid, and so on and so forth. And we haven't suffered any arrears owing to coronavirus and because of the lockdown, etc. But what we have suffered is a lot of voids, a phenomenal amount of voids. So we got up to probably almost double figures. No, actually, sorry, more than double figures. We got up to almost 20 voids during the whole lockdown 1, and then into, you know, coming up to after post-lockdown 2. Now, for us, like anyone, it's annoying. I mean, we don't want to have any voids, but having 20 voids at £400 a month is, you know, is pretty worrying, and it's not a nice experience. But we got through that, and I'm really pleased to say that because of the way that the team handled themselves and because of the proactive approach that the team have taken, we've got 1 void right now. Now, I'm not bragging. This isn't me saying, hey, look at me, I've got 1 void. But we had to do something about it. We had to make sure that we got into the quiet season where we are now in Christmas time, coming into the new year, with just minimal voids. So we've got down to 1 void, which is absolutely phenomenal. Now, we've got people in notice, and we've got people, obviously, they're going to be leaving towards the end of January, etc. But for us to be in this situation now, from the situation we started in lockdown 1, is absolutely brilliant. It's really good. So we worked really hard for that. Now, what else did we do during lockdown? Well, we kind of reinvented a few things. So we went to Matterport, and we went to 3D video walkthroughs. And that is absolutely, it's just amazing. If you've never used it, folks, I would really suggest that you do, because we sold, I don't know how many altogether, but we sold or rented, I use the word sold. We rented loads of rooms just by giving them the Matterport link. And the Matterport, for those of you that don't know, I'll put a link in the comments, is where you can do a virtual 3D tour of your property. And it's amazing. So we started to do more virtual tours and more virtual video walkthroughs, which has future-proofed our business. Now, that's an asset. It's quite expensive. It is quite expensive to invest in to begin with. And if you're not sure about Matterport, I think it's probably about £250 a property or something similar. And it's just a 3D walkthrough of the whole property. You can showcase certain elements, and it just gives the tenant prospect a really good way of working out whether or not the property is going to be usable for them, and it's going to be, you know, something that they wanted to pursue. So on top of that, then we also started our VIP Academy. Our VIP Property Academy was born in lockdown 1, where we put everything online. So all of our content, all of our knowledge, all of our learnings over the, the last decade in training property investors. And we put all of that online. And we just charge a very simple monthly subscription. So we developed that. So we've really grown during lockdown, and we've really, come into our own. Now we didn't buy a lot of property last year because of the restrictions, because of everything. Nobody really knew what was going to happen, but we did flip one bungalow, and we purchased, I think we purchased 3 HMOs, and we almost got one over the line just before Christmas time, which was a lease option that we were about to purchase. So we purchased 3 properties, refurbished about 5, because we already refurbished some of our flips and flats, sorry. So we did okay, we did all right. So what's happened to the property market? Well, if we go back to Nationwide and Ricks and all of the people, Rightmove and Zoopla, that were reporting right back on lockdown 1 that we were going to see up to 20% reduction in property prices and a 20% correction. And everybody was geared up for that. So then all of a sudden the banks started to pull their products, the mortgage offers started to get pulled, valuations were starting to be less than they were before, the down values, and on top of that the loan to values went from 85% on HMO products and down to 60% in some cases. Now they're back up to 75% and 80% if you're looking for a buy-to-let mortgage. So we saw all of that. We saw desktop valuations, and all of this was a contributing factor to whether or not we were going to get downvalued. It's a bit windy here. I hope you can hear me all right. I'm outside. So what happened? Well, all of a sudden, Rishi Sunak decided to put a stamp duty land tax holiday together, which meant that, depending on your circumstances, your stamp duty would be considerably less or even zero in certain cases. And that has propped up the property market to no end. It's crutched, it's given us a crutch. And in some cases, it's seen actually a small increase in certain areas of the country in property prices. And we weren't expecting any of that. So that's done its job. It's done a really good job. And, kudos to the government for putting that together. However, that finishes in March. It's not going to last forever. And I think, to be honest with you now, if you're watching this video now, you're probably too late to benefit from the stamp duty land tax holiday by the time you've got through conveyancing and everything else that comes with it. So I don't think that is going to help any longer. Now, the government made an announcement last week, just before Christmas time, that they had no intention of extending this stamp duty land tax holiday. So in my humble opinion, here's what I think is going to happen. So I think the property prices come January will start to see a reduction. They'll start to come down slightly. They're going to come down a little bit, but not a huge amount, until people start to watch the market. And then, of course, we've got the furlough scheme that's going to be coming to an end. And all of the incentives that the government have given have to be paid back. So we're going to see a reduction in employment. We're going to see the worst cases of employment that we've seen in a long, long time. So unfortunately, all of this is going to have a knock-on effect on everything, starting with the property market. Now, that's not to say that property isn't a good place to park your money, because it still will be. It might even be a better place at the moment if you can find some really good deals. So my thoughts are, we will see a correction of up to and around 5%. And then I think, because we've got Brexit, of course, now as well, that has just resurfaced, because we kind of forgotten about Brexit, that's going to start to worry a few landlords with their tenant demographic for people. Are we allowed to rent to people in the EU? Are we in, or were in the EU, weren't in the EU, etc. So I think we're going to see probably a reduction of about and up to 5%, and I will then probably, I think that will sustain itself up until maybe Q3, until people have got a real good understanding of what the property market is going to look like in the future. And I think there will be a lot of people now coming the new year are going to be sitting on their hands, and they're not going to be investing just yet until they're confident on the market and confident on what it's going to look like in the future. So those are my thoughts. Now, should you stop buying property? No. There's a saying that when is there a good time and when is there not a bad time to buy property. You know, buy property and wait, don't wait to buy property, and all of those sayings that people use. Because no matter what happens to the market, people will always need somewhere to live. No matter what happens to the unemployment rate, someone will need always somewhere to live. So whether your tenant demographic is working professionals or whether your tenant demographic is universal credit, whatever it is, people will always need somewhere to live. So if you're looking at property and you're looking to buy property now, just crack on, get on, do it, park your money, because you're not going to get a better investment and you're not going to get a better return on anything else other than bricks and mortar. Those are my thoughts, folks. Have a great New Year's Eve, and I'll be back to see you soon. Take care. Don't forget to click on that subscribe button and click on that bell notification. Take care. Rick Gannon, welcome back to my channel.